call, Ms. Clerk?
Ms. Santa Cruz,
Here.
Mr. Cunningham,
Here.
Mr. Dahl,
Here.
Mrs. Lee,
Here.
Mr. Fimbres. We're checking on him. Ms. Mixulik.
Here.
And Mayor Romero.
Here. Before we go to item 2, the city attorney will go over the rules of decorum for mayor and council meetings. Mr. Attorney.
Thank you, Mayor. Arizona's open meeting laws provide that members of the public may attend and listen to the proceedings during tonight's public meeting of the mayor and council. Arizona law also allows the mayor and council to enforce rules and procedures for public attendance and observation of the meeting to ensure orderly behavior and to prevent unnecessary interruptions or interference with the public meeting. And so here are the rules that apply. The rules require decorum and orderly conduct by the members of the audience. No person attending the meeting shall engage in conduct that disrupts or otherwise impedes the orderly conduct of the meeting, including any statements or conduct that interrupt persons who might be addressing the mayor and council or that disrupt the discussions of the mayor and council themselves. The mayor has the authority to ensure compliance with the rules of orderly conduct. If disorderly or disruptive conduct continues after a warning, and this is that first warning, the mayor may direct the removal of persons from the chambers or recess the meeting itself if necessary. If disruptive behavior makes it necessary to clear the chambers, persons who disrupted the meeting will not be allowed to return to the chambers for the remainder of the meeting. As a final note, just be aware that interfering with or preventing the lawful public meeting from being carried out in an orderly manner not only violates the rules of conduct, but violates Title 13 of the Arizona Revised Statutes. Mayor, just one other quick announcement, because I know there was some public interest in an item that was on tonight's agenda, but has already been continued to another meeting. That's item 7E on the agenda relating to the proposed ordinance prohibiting camping in washes. So that will not be on tonight's agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Rankin. Item 2.
Invocation, Pledge of Allegiance, and boards, committees, and commissions.
The invocation will be given by Reverend Lynn Bartlow of St. Mark's United Methodist Church. After the invocation, I ask that you remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
In our current political climate, it's easy for us to see the other person as the enemy. The person who disagrees with us is bad. The person who's from the other political party is evil. The person who questions us is wrong. We know this is not the reality of our world. The person we look at across from us, the person we disagree with, the person we are in dialogue with is a person just like us. We can learn much from each other as we begin with the knowledge that we are each children of God, loved and beloved. Chief Seattle said these words: "All things are connected. Whatever befalls the earth befalls the sons of the earth. Man did not weave the web of life. He is merely a strand in it. Whatever he does to the web, he does to himself." Tonight, as you do your work, I pray that you see each issue and each person before you as part of that web of life. May you greet each person with respect and consideration, and may each person who comes before you do the same. Let us pray. Loving and gracious God, we come before you tonight seeking guidance and your peace. As these leaders gather to make decisions, may they do so with hearts open to wisdom, understanding, and compassion. Help us all to see each person as a reflection of your divine image, and may we be reminded that every voice, every opinion carries value. In this time of dialogue and discernment, give us the grace to listen deeply, to speak kindly, and to act justly. Bless the work of this council and the people they serve, that the decisions made tonight may honor the dignity of all, promote the common good, and foster unity in our community. We ask this in the spirit of love and humility. Amen. United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 2C.
Presentations.
Alrighty, we have a few presentations with us today, which I am so happy to be able to proclaim September 22nd through September 28th, American Indian Awareness Days. And we also have Heritage Month proclamation and a very special proclamation declaring Carolyn Campbell Appreciation Day. My colleagues on the council can feel free to join me for any of these proclamations. I'd be happy to have you up there with me. Hello, yes, let me see. The first one we're going to do, American Indian Awareness Days. And let me see this particular proclamation. We're going to have Veronica Boone from the Tucson Indian Center with us, and others. If you brought any others, please have them come forward. Thank you. Okay, perfect. You are, yes, you are one in many. Thank you. I'm so excited about this. Alrighty, so on behalf of the City of Tucson and the Office of the Mayor, I'd like to declare September 22nd through the 28th, 2024 to be American Indian Awareness Days. Whereas in present-day Tucson, we are standing on the lands that have been stewarded by the Tohono O'odham since time immemorial, and the Pascuayaqui people who have lived in the Sonoran Desert for thousands of years. And whereas American Indians contribute to this community's cultural and economic well-being and continue to improve our community by involving themselves in all aspects of government and community service. And whereas American Indians actively provide recommendations and input into the decision-making process of the educational system and participate in ceremonies relating to the history of Tucson. And whereas American Indians are calling for an even deeper involvement in education, local, state, and federal government, and the general development of our community. Now, therefore, I, Regina Romero, Mayor of the City of Tucson, Arizona, do hereby proclaim September 22nd to the 28th, 2024, to me, American Indian Awareness Day. Actually, every day is American Indian Awareness Days in this community, and encourage all of our residents to appreciate and support the efforts of the American Indians in our community. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Tucson, Arizona, to be affixed this 25th day of September 2024. Thank you so much. Do you want to say a couple of words?
Sure. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it, and it means a lot. It's where there's a large Native American community here, and at the Tucson Indian Center, we're proud to partner with the local tribes in serving our people. Thank you. And to partner with City of Tucson. Thank you. Yes.
Alrighty. Our next one is National Hispanic Heritage Month, and I would love to invite all of those of you that showed up to join us in this effort. I have the list right here. Alrighty, we would like to invite up Felipe Garcia, Visit Tucson, Liz Soltero, Sunnyside Foundation, Marla Franco of the Hispanic Serving Initiatives in University of Arizona, Magdalena Verdugo, YWCA, Adriana Grijalva, ASUA Student Body President, Joshua Sweeney, Fabian Villegas, Casillas Developments, Francisco Morales of FJM Renovation, Gaciel Cruz from Creative Concepts Remodeling, Joseph Ornelas from Kino Landscape and Construction, David Molina from Sonora Nocotillo, Patricia Sierras from Sundown, Arizona, Nolan Flores from Flores Landscaping, and of course, our very own Frankie Villegas of the City of Tucson Small Business team, and all of her team, if you'd like to bring them all up. If you'd like to, there's some space over here from some of you that are over there at the door. So the reasons we wanted to have a diverse array of individuals in our community that represent the Hispanic community, small business owners, nonprofit partners, our business partners, is because we wanted to have that diversity up here displayed for all of the community to see that Hispanic heritage, or however we'd like to call ourselves, like Latino, Latinx, Latine, Chicano, Chicana, however we'd like to describe ourselves, we're a diverse community that contributes to our economy, contributes to our neighborhoods, and contributes to our cities. So with that, and we made, by the way, copies of the proclamation for all of you. So we'll give you copies when we're done. And you're gonna do the honor of holding this one. Okay. So on behalf of the City of Tucson and the Office of the Mayor, I'd like to declare September 15th through October 15th to be National Hispanic Heritage Month. Whereas today we celebrate the second week of National Hispanic Heritage Month, first proclaimed by President Lyndon B. Johnson in 1968, we honor the rich and diverse history of generations of Latinos whose aspirations, contributions, and achievements have profoundly changed the fabric of our nation. And whereas we recognize the resilience, the strength of the 62 million Latinos in the United States in overcoming challenges and making significant contributions across all sectors, from those who have been here for generations to those who have recently arrived. And whereas we must know our own histories in order to know where we are going. We remember the history of La Calle and El Barrio, and we recognize the invaluable contributions that Alba V. Torres International Tucson Mariachi Conference, Pueblos de Maíz, and our many vibrant Latino-owned small businesses and restaurants contribute to shaping the rich history of our city. And whereas the City of Tucson remains committed to creating a sense of belonging for all of Tucsonans with our Somos Uno cultural heritage strategy for Tucson. And whereas let's celebrate the incredible work of the many Latino leaders who are here today, as well as those who couldn't join us, for their tireless dedication. Latinos are the heartbeat of our community, our workers, union leaders, farm workers, teachers, first responders, athletes, artists, doctors, business leaders, public servants, and so many more. And whereas together we will continue to build a future that generations of Latinos can be proud of, one founded on honesty, respect, and where everyone has an opportunity to pursue their dreams and talents. And whereas Latino history is American history, it is a story of hard work, family, faith, pride, and possibility. And it is proof that there is nothing we cannot do when we do it together. Sí se puede. Now, therefore, I, Regina Romero, Mayor of the City of Tucson, Arizona, do hereby proclaim September 15th through October 15th, 2024 to be National Hispanic Heritage Month in the City of Tucson, and encourage all of our residents to observe this month with ceremonies, activities, and programs that celebrate Hispanic heritage and recognize the impact that Latinos, Latinas, Latinx, Chicanas, Chicanos bring to our community. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Tucson, Arizona, to be affixed this 25th day of September, 2024. Congratulations. Does anyone want to say anything? Anyone want to say anything? Who wants to say anything?
Muchísimas gracias. Thank you. I think I speak on behalf of all of us in saying that we really appreciate the recognition of Hispanic Heritage Month. And it's regardless of what we call ourselves, ¿verdad? Mexicanos, Mexicanas, Latinos, we have a rich culture, and to highlight that during this month is really great. So visit our small businesses if you get a chance, and support our nonprofits and our municipalities during well, actually, not just this month, every month. Thank you.
And one more. I'll be short.
Buenas tardes, gracias, honorable alcaldesa, miembros del consejo. Estoy muy orgullosa. I'm very proud to be here today. With me, I always bring how proud we are of the community. My name is Frankie Villegas. I'm the Small Business Program Manager. I have my team, Narda and Giselle. I don't do it alone. We also have our director, Barbara, sitting in the back. What I really wanted to highlight is these business owners. They went from being employees to being a business owners because they study really hard, over 100 hours. They passed a series of tests, and they went from working for somebody to own their own business. So we have remodelers, roofers, landscapers. They got licensed, bonded, and insured just recently. So they're hiring and they're open for business. And we have a special guest. She wanted to meet you, so I want to make sure she gets an opportunity to. Anyway, I'm very proud of my community. Thank you for trusting me. Let's continue to support all businesses in Tucson. So thank you so much for the opportunity and for the recognition.
Que no les dé vergüenza. Anyone else? All right. Can we take a picture, especialmente con la niña? Join us, Mama. Turn around so we can take a picture with you. Okay, así es. Thank you. And all, join us, join us. Okay. Thank you. And then, of course, last but certainly never least, Carolyn Campbell Appreciation Day. Join us and bring your family, friends. And then if anyone wants to join us from our colleagues on the council, yay. Oh, thank you, Carolyn, Bruce, all the family, all the community that is here to support Carolyn Campbell for her more than 27 years in service to our community. I am a huge fan, and Carolyn and I both met at least 24 years ago. Everything that I know, and I've said this before, everything that I know about open space and biological diversity and how important it is to connect that to the quality of life of people, I know from Carolyn Campbell. And Carolyn, as I threatened before, we're going to let you rest for a few months in your retirement and then call you back. This time as a volunteer, you won't get paid. We all appreciate you, and I know that we all have learned so much from you. So it is my wonderful pleasure on behalf of the City of Tucson and the Office of the Mayor to proclaim, let's see, Wednesday, September 25th, 2024, to be Carolyn Campbell Appreciation Day in this community. Thank you so much. So whereas in 1997, the cactus pygmy owl received protection under the Federal Endangered Species Act, spurring more than 40 conservation and neighborhood groups to form the Coalition for Sonoran Desert Protection. And whereas the coalition's primary goal was to bring science and planning into the equation in southern Arizona, which led to the implementation of the groundbreaking Sonoran Desert Conservation Plan. And whereas today we recognize Carolyn Campbell, the Executive Director of the Sonoran Desert Protection Coalition, for 27 years of leading it to becoming one of the most successful advocacy organizations in the history of Southern Arizona. And whereas her exemplary work earned the trust and respect of residents, conservationists, developers, and elected officials. And whereas Carolyn and the coalition participated in countless proposed land use projects and provided valuable recommendations to the city, Tucson Mayor and Council regarding implementation of the conservation land system, influencing the conservation of natural open space through the city and Pima County. And whereas as a member of the 2006 Regional Transportation Plan Committee, Carolyn successfully advocated for the inclusion of funding in the plan for wildlife linkage projects and actively participated in the planning and implementation of the highly successful wildlife bridge and underpass for Oracle Highway completed in 2016. Now, therefore, I, Regina Romero, Mayor of the City of Tucson, Arizona, do hereby proclaim Wednesday, September 25th, 2024, to be Carolyn Campbell Appreciation Day in the City of Tucson and encourage all of our residents to reflect on the importance of protecting and conserving our precious environment. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Tucson, Arizona, to be affixed this 25th day of September 2024. Congratulations, Carolyn. Do you all want to say anything? Do you all want to say anything?
It's my fault. I hired her 26, 27 years ago saying, hey, you have the skills for this job. It's only going to last 1 or 2 years. And it's her fault that I'm here because it was my honor to have Carolyn as my campaign chair. Thank you, Carolyn, for all you've done.
So I'm going to go off that part. The environmental advocacy goes without saying, but Carolyn has other things that she does in this community that shouldn't be overlooked, including her volunteering for the RTA, which the job you've done to reel that in is unbelievable, but it also shows the dedication of your community. And going back to the time of my dad, he was the first. You were the first person who told me to call about environmental issues. So I appreciate you 100%.
Caroline, congratulations on your retirement. And I want to thank you for mentoring all of us and taking us under your wing and helping us be good stewards of this city that we call home. Thank you.
Well, I want to thank all of you, and I'm like triply honored because of the other two proclamations tonight, American Indian and Hispanic Heritage Month. So that makes me even more honored. But I will say it's not really hard to try to do the best to protect this Sonoran Desert. I mean, it's the most beautiful place in the world and the most beautiful people that live here. And so, it's not difficult. We just need more defenders, and we have defenders here. Being able to work with all the people that are here. I've got my family, my friends. I've got a couple of coworkers from the coalition, Kate, you'll be meeting her because she is taking on the job of co-executive director. So you'll be working with her and Johnny, Johnny Zeman, our intrepid outreach person and good artist. We have a lot of t-shirts that she has designed and hats. And my friend Savannah, and we do it for them. We do it for them. It's for the children that need to have a world that to grow up in the Sonoran Desert. Needs to be a place that's habitable when she grows up, because we want her to live here and do the kind of work to sustain. And so thank you to the city for all the work we've done together, the water service area policy, protecting the Painted Hills, fighting the Interstate 11, fighting the Rosemont mine. There are so many things that we've been doing together, and I will still be doing it. I am moving over to the board, so you'll still see me dabbling in things, but hopefully I'll get a little rest and do some things I need to do. So thank you for this honor. It's been an honor working with all of you, and we'll see you around.
Yeah.
Over here to the front.
4 or 5 of those. Thank you so much. You're in a beauty pageant. You're slightly sideways. You're projecting. You're smiling. You're thinking about a funny story.
Should we be facing the same way?
At the camera. A lot of clicks. He gets paid by the click. All right, thank you all.
All righty. Item 2D,
Appointments to boards, committees, and commissions.
City Manager's Communication Number 275 dated September 25th is received into and made part of the record. May I have a motion to approve the appointments in the report, please?
Madam Mayor, I move to approve the appointments of Miranda Jackson to the Outdoor Lighting Code Committee and of Jim Barnhart to the Veterans Affairs Committee.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Before we move into discussion, I'd like to thank you both for your willingness to serve the city in this capacity. Any discussion on this motion? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any against? Motion carries. Are there any personal appointments to be made at this time? Hearing none, we move on to item 3.
Mayor and council report summary of current events.
City Manager's Communication Number 267 dated September 25th is received into and made part of the record. This time has been scheduled to allow members of the mayor and council to report on current events. These are to be current events of activities within the community, not position statements on policy issues. Does any council member have anything to report at this time? Alrighty. So what we'll do is we will start over here on the dais and then see if Councilmember Fibres has any. Councilmember Santa Cruz?
Yes. Friday, September 27th at 8 a.m., the city of Tucson and Tucson Clean and Beautiful are hosting their Team Up to Clean Up event. Activities include picking up litter, collecting shopping carts, and beautifying the area. We will be meeting at 201 West Michigan Drive. And then on later that evening, we have our monthly Bicicleteada del Sur with Fuga at the El Pueblo Neighborhood Center at 6 p.m. The evening bike ride takes place on Tucson South Side and happens every last Friday of the month. The El Pueblo Center is at 101 West Irvington Road. And then on Saturday, September 28th at 8 a.m., we have a Budget de la Gente GSI tree planting party. help us create a sustainable future for Cherokee Park while enjoying pan dulce and coffee. We will be meeting at Cherokee Park, which is located at 1500 West Delaware Street. And then finally, on Monday, September 30th at 4 p.m., join the Pima County Community Land Trust for their Pizza and Chill fundraiser. Learn about their mission and take part in a fun Build Your Financial Pizza activity. It's a great opportunity for parents and kids to explore budgeting basics together while enjoying a fun night out and supporting a meaningful cause. The location will be at the Peter Piper Pizza at 3717 South 12th Avenue. Thank you.
Councilmember Cunningham?
First of all, I want to have, since our past meeting, we've had 2 days of service. We brought them back with the weather kind of cooperating a little more. I want to thank the volunteers who showed up. We cleaned out a wash this week in an area that was in dire need of cleanup. And I want to thank all the volunteers who showed up for that at Echo Ridge Apartments. It's a thing that my staff does once a week. We don't always acknowledge it. Later this month, we're going to organize one to resurface the court at Jesse Owens Park, the basketball court at Jesse Owens Park. So we're really excited about those things. I also want to congratulate Terrence Valerani on another park takeover. He's now done 5 in the city limits. We'll be announcing more. It's a really neat event and where social influencers who are basketball players come to Tucson and play against some of our local players. And it's been a really successful program. I also want to thank everybody who came to our open house. We've now been in the new building 1 year. We have some private tenants moving in, and it's been a pretty successful program. We've been able to interact a lot more with city administration and try to find some things and some common ground that we need to work on. So we had about 200 people show up. It was a really good open house, and I want to thank all the city staff who showed up. Quite a few of us made time, including the city attorney. So thank you all for coming to that. All right. This is the hardest one. So we all have a friend whose mom is like our second mom. We all have a friend like that. And some of us have multiple friends like that if we're really lucky. One of my best friends in high school, his senior year, he was discovered by the principal sleeping in his car. And the principal knew exactly which mom to call. And it made so much sense. Like, it took about 1 second. And this person was a 32-year veteran teacher at TUSD. She was the team mom on every single sports team that you could think of. She was an advocate for youth sports on a level that you couldn't believe. I remember when her husband and she ran the balloon festival. There were 2 years where we had one of the largest balloon festivals in the country out by Midvale Park, and it was Alan and Judy Teasley who did it. And we lost Alan a few years ago. Alan was a staple in this community, and they're both from Midtown. They both went to Rincon High School in the 60s. Alan was senior class president at Rincon when my dad was senior class president at Catalina. Mrs. Teasley passed away on Saturday, and growing up with her son, he still remains probably my best friend today. And I wanted to pay a tribute to her today because it was just something that was important to me and been on my mind. The cool thing about it was that I went through a bunch of different I never thought I'd be Googling my best friend's mom, but you find all these different newspaper clippings over the years going back to the 60s and how Alan and Judy contributed to our community. So I love that everyone was honored today, but today I want to honor Judy Teasley at the dais as a point of personal privilege and let Tucson know that we've lost a very, very special citizen. Thank you.
That's beautiful. Thank you, Councilmember. Vice Mayor?
Thank you, Paul. Hard act to follow. A lot of stuff going on now. It's September and October. Everybody schedules everything in October. We put a lot of these events, not just in Ward 3, but throughout the city in our Ward 3 newsletter, and I invite you to subscribe. It comes out on Fridays, or just go to our Ward 3 website, and you can read them in place. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Councilman Lee.
Thank you, Mayor. Just want to do a plug to save the date for the Tucson Parks and Rec Annual Boo Bash coming up October 19th from 5 to 8 p.m. It's a citywide event, so everyone is welcome. It just happens to be in Ward 4 at Lincoln Park at the soccer fields at 4325 South Pantano Road. And again, that's October 19th from 5 to 8 p.m. And then I would also like to share a personal announcement with everyone who's not aware. 5 weeks ago today, I gave birth to our fourth child. So I want to thank my staff who've been incredible during my pregnancy and immediately following my pregnancy to really support me in a lot of ways. Same thing for city staff. Everyone has been amazing and supportive, and I really have felt that over the past 10 months. I also want to thank the Vice Mayor and his staff for the card that you all sent, the Ward 5 staff, Councilmember Fimbres and his staff for sending some beautiful flowers, and Captain Morales from ODE and the team over there at ODE for the beautiful flower arrangement as well. The El Rio team of midwives was amazing, and they have a phenomenal partnership with TMC as well. So I wanted to do a plug for that amazing partnership between those two healthcare organizations. And thanks to the mayor for supporting my accommodation to be virtual for the meeting right before giving birth and 6 days after giving birth and September 11th, so that I could still do my job and represent the folks of Ward 4 while recovering for the past couple of weeks. So thank you to everyone, and we are excited to have another beautiful baby girl in our family. So thank you, Mayor, for the time.
Congratulations, Councilwoman Lee. We are so happy for you and your family. Council Member Ulick. Alrighty. Council Member Fimbres, did you want to add?
Madam Mayor.
Okay,
Yes,
go
I
ahead.
do. On Tuesday, September 17th, my staff and I attended the South Side Public Safety Complex, groundbreaking. This new complex will feature state-of-the-art health and safety features and a workspace for firefighters and police officers. An exciting investment for our community, health, safety, and well-being in the South Side and in Ward 5. As this is possible thanks to the voters who approved funding for Proposition 101. Thank you so very much. I want to thank everyone who attended this great event, especially our mayor, Mayor Romero. Your support means everything to our community. The third annual Yellow Heart COVID Memorial Remembrance Day was held on Saturday, September 14th at Brandy Fenton Memorial Park. The event was hosted by the Tucson chapter of the Yellow Heart Memorial, Pima County District 5 Supervisor Alita Grijalva and I had the opportunity to say some 4 words for the event. Thank Maria Suarez and AJ Alvarez for another important event. Hope you guys can do it in Tucson Park this year, not a county park. And I hope we can get you, Mayor, to say a few words next year. I want to remind everyone of the coming Heart Health Fair. The Clothing Bank, the free community event, will be held on Friday, September 27th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Quincy Douglas Center, 5075 East 36th Street. Health screenings, wearing the booths, a Clothing Bank, and more will be there. More you call 520-791-2507. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Council Member. I just wanted to remind our community that elections are fast approaching. First and most importantly, that they are safe and secure, and they're run by professionals here in the city of Tucson and Pima County. The last day to register to vote for the November 2024 elections is October 7th. Please make sure that you and your friends, family, neighbors, and colleagues are registered to vote. You can go to servicearizona.com and register online. I encourage you also to check out the Pima Votes website, which is a cooperative educational site operated by Pima County Recorder and Pima County Elections Office. In that website, you can research and find voting centers, check out the status of your ballot, see a sample ballot, and find out information about the propositions. Besides there being a federal election, there are statewide offices, there are offices for Pima County, there are 13 propositions, there's going to be school boards on the ballot, and there's going to be also judges on the ballot. It's going to be a 2-page ballot, and so Please make sure that you register to vote. If you are not registered by October 7th, inform yourself and vote. It's important that we do. We move on to item 4.
City Manager's Report, Summary of Current Events.
Time has been, City Manager's Communication number 268 dated September 25th is received into and made part of the record. This time has been scheduled to allow the city manager to report on current events. Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Two quick things for tonight. First, I'd like to congratulate Director Barbara Coffey and her team at the Office of Economic Initiatives on receiving the Gold Award for their Academy for International Trade program, which was presented at the International Economic Development Council Annual Conference last week. They won in the regional or cross-border partnership category, placing in the top 13 of more than 500 applications received. The Academy for International Trade was created by the Office of Economic Initiatives to facilitate the growth and expansion of small and medium-sized Mexican businesses into the Tucson market. So congratulations, Barbara, and your team. And speaking of golden opportunities, just wanted to announce that there is a little bit less than a week left to apply for the city's Community Partner Grants Program. This is our third round of funding to support local organizations and businesses in the community. The application submission window is underway and closes on Monday, September 30th at 11:59 p.m. sharp local time. More information, including how to apply, can be found on our city's homepage at tucsonaz.gov. Thank you, Mayor.
And congratulations to Barbara Coffey and your team for the award and the recognition. Item 5.
Liquor License Applications Report from City Manager.
City Manager's Communication number 274 dated September 25th is received into and made part of the record. Ms. Clerk, please read the liquor license agenda.
Your Honor, on this evening's agenda, we have requests for 2 new licenses, 1 person location transfer, and 10 special event applications. For the record, the name of the applicant has changed on special event items 5C, 4, and 5 at the Slaughterhouse. The applicant Bobby Sutton has been replaced by Stacy Emmert. All applications are in compliance with city requirements except for item 5C3, Axis Food Mart. That item will be considered separately and the applicant is present. So an appropriate motion would be to forward items 5B1 and 2, 5C1 through 10 to the State Liquor Board with a recommendation of approval.
May I have a
So
motion,
moved, Your
please?
Honor.
There's a motion.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any
Aye.
against? Motion carries. And let's consider what is it? Which one is it?
It's item 5C3, the Axis Food Mart in Ward 5.
Alrighty, let's consider that one separately. Councilmember Fimbres.
Madam Mayor. When we first talked to this gentleman, he's the owner, we haven't heard from him, neither has the Miles Neighborhood Association heard from him. What to do with mini bar in there, so I recommend the liquor license be sent to with a recommended denial. The guy is not in compliance with PDSD requirements.
Alrighty, so there is a motion and a second. Mr. Rankin?
Mayor, it would be appropriate to allow the applicant to address the mayor and council before you vote on the motion. And the motion is to recommend denial of the license as applied based on the noncompliance with zoning and PDSD. The application in this instance is for a beer and wine bar. The use that's approved at the location is for a convenience store. So this would be a change of use. They have not gone through the development package process or submitted a new development plan. So they are not in compliance with zoning if they do in fact move forward with the proposed use. But it would be appropriate to allow the applicant to come up and address that concern.
I believe either the applicant or the representative of the applicant is present. I believe it's Krishna Maddox. Please come up to the tall mic, please.
Hi. So before I legally purchased this Series 7 license, and before I did that, I consulted with the liquor board. I already have a Series 9, and they told me I can stack the Series 7 with it without making any changes to the store. I did speak with them this morning, and I did address the issue with them, and they told me that they see me as compliant as it is to use Series 7.
I wouldn't want to give you any legal advice, but I think that there's a process that the city of Tucson follows to make sure that you are compliant with the requirements that the city of Tucson establishes in order to use different series of licenses. So I don't know what the most appropriate recommendation would be, Mr. Rankin, to refer Mr. Maddox to.
I think the motion's been made is appropriate based on the noncompliance with local zoning requirements. That means it'll go to the board, and the board will examine the issue and make a final determination on the license application.
We haven't voted on this, but there is a motion on the floor to deny the liquor license. It will still go to the liquor board. But I think that there's a process that you have to follow within the city of Tucson, and we can always have the city clerk's office call you and describe to you what the process is here in the city that you need to follow.
Yeah, because I've been like going back and forth for months on this, and it's just every time I call the liquor board, they're just not aware of what I need to do. And I'm not trying to open a bar per se. It's just a license that was available. I can stack it with my Series 9, so I went ahead and purchased it already. I just don't want to lose this license.
Okay. What should we do? I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
Councilman Lee?
Mayor, is there a possibility of not voting on this tonight to give him time to consult with the city versus sending a recommendation to deny? Would that be helpful, or is there a timeline associated with this?
Councilmember Lee, yes, there is a timeline, and with most recent changes in the legislation, there's not a lot of flexibility with that timeline. So if it goes forward to a hearing in front of the local liquor board, they'll make a determination on the liquor license itself. The applicant can then still continue to work with the city ultimately to get zoning approval that he might need through the development review process.
Yeah, there's a development review process, but even though we will be sending a recommendation, as the city attorney said, you can always call the city clerk's office and we could inform you what steps you need to take for the development process in order to use your license.
Because I did have someone reach out to me from planning, Wrestling Wells, and she told me I had to be compliant as a bar, but I'm already an off-premise account. I have a Series 9. I just don't see how I can be an off-premise as a convenience store and as a bar. I've been going back and forth.
We're gonna
for
get your
months.
number
Mhm.
and we have it. Okay, we have your number and we will have our city clerk give you a call so that you can compare notes as to what
Mhm.
you have and what we know.
Okay, sounds
Okay?
good. Thank you, guys.
Alrighty. Of course, thank you for coming up. Any further discussion or questions on this item? All those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any
Aye.
against? Motion carries. Item 6.
Call to the audience.
Ms. Clerk, do you have any announcements?
Yes, at this time, the public is allowed to address the mayor and council on any issue except for items scheduled for a public hearing at this meeting. Speakers are limited to 3-minute presentations. The green light on the lower dais will turn on when you begin speaking. It will turn yellow when you have 30 seconds left of your allotted time. When the 3 minutes are up, the red light will flash and you will hear a beeping sound. If that happens, please immediately conclude your remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Clerk. We have our first speaker, I believe is a Spanish speaker, and we'll need assistance.
Mr. Corrales from the city clerk's office will translate.
Alrighty. This is Martín Acuña Acedo. Martín Acuña Acedo present.
Muy buenas tardes, buenas noches a todos.
Un poquito más fuerte para
Sí,
escucharlo.
Sí, ok. Buenas noches a todos. Vengo con un problema en mi mano. Tengo un año que no puedo trabajar. Es un problema en mi mano. No puedo trabajar y no me han hecho justicia, no me han dado ningún apoyo aquí en Estados Unidos. Tengo 40 años aquí. Nunca los había ocupado hasta hoy. I'm sorry. Perdón, a ver si me pueden ayudar ahora, alcalde.
Mr. Acuna says he is seeking some sort of assistance. He's been in the US for over 40 years and he's never required it. He needs it now. He's got an issue with his hand.
Sí, ok. Sí, por favor, a ver si puede hacer algo el alcalde, por favor. Describe exactamente esto de que mi mano no puedo trabajar.
So he's asking the mayor if she can help. He's not been able to work and he's and he will leave his contact information with me so I can provide it to the mayor.
All right, and I just wanted
Gracias.
to ask our city manager to possibly connect Mr. Acuña Acedo to our care coordinators within the Community Safety Health and Wellness Program. Possibly they could help him connect to any necessary health or any resources in the community that can help him.
Yes, Mayor, we'll be glad to do that.
Y señor Acuña nos dejó su número de teléfono, ¿verdad?
Sí, todo, sí.
Ok.
Sí, puede ser algo.
Ok, le vamos a estar hablando de la ciudad de Tucson.
Ok, está bien, sí.
Alguien que hable español para poder conectarlo con recursos que le puedan ayudar.
Ok, muchas gracias. Sí.
Gracias.
Muchas gracias a todos.
Gracias.
Thank you. Thank you.
Alrighty, James Christopher.
My name is James Christopher. I am currently the Vice President of Pueblo Gardens Neighborhood Association. Past years, I've been the president, and I'm here today to talk about a dispensary coming into our neighborhoods. Having a police, law enforcement, and a correctional background, I had mixed emotions initially when I was told that the dispensary wanted to come in just south of Park, south of I-10 and Park. As I said, I had mixed emotions, but as I got involved, I saw the feasibility as well as the liability versus the assets. And the more I got involved, I saw what they could offer the neighborhood, such as tearing down the old building, putting up a new structure, and the assets would include security, the cleanliness of the place, and they indicated that they would be involved in being involved with the neighborhood to the extent of physically as well as monetarily. And whether you realize it or not, we have two marijuana dispensaries in Ward 5, and I passed by those two, and they seem to be operating and functioning very well, exceptionally well, as far as the cleanliness, the security, and I don't hear anything or haven't seen anything to the derogatoriness of it. So my vote would be a yes for the dispensary coming into the neighborhood.
Thank you, Mr. Christopher. Bernice Vanover.
Hello, my name is Bernice Vanover.
Bernice, can you use the taller mic
taller
next door? Yeah. Thank you.
My name is Bernice Vanover. I'm president of Pueblo Gardens Neighborhood Association, and I am also for the medical dispensary. The pros would be the revitalization of the area. It would improve the neighborhood around it with the security and also with the upkeep of the property. what's there now is not being kept up at all, and it's been empty for years. So it would be a plus for that neighborhood, and I think that it would benefit everybody in the area.
Thank you, Bernice. Michael Cajero.
Let's see, hello, my name is Michael Cajero. I live in Ward 6. I grew up there, so I'm familiar with the changes that have occurred. And one of the changes has been the traffic situation. It's pretty difficult right now. I've seen in several bicycle accidents, and also just the it's just especially bicycle accidents. That's been a problem a lot, and I know it has to do with infill, because I heard the mayor and council talking one time about potholes, and one councilman said, well, it has to do with the rain. I think it's the rain. The rain is the problem. And yeah, it's the problem. And then later on, the mayor said, okay, yes, rain is bad. The rain has been bad, really bad. And then I thought, well, no, that's not quite accurate, I don't think, because first of all, you have heavier operating militarized machinery on the surface. We are driving heavier and bigger machinery, and this adds weight to the load. Like I said, in World War II, if you want to make something go fast, just take off the paint and it'll fly faster, and longer. But if you put more weight, you're going to press down on the terra, and it's going to tear apart. And these asphalt approaches are not working, obviously. And then you have the volume. I mean, how many more cars have been put in the Tucson system? It must be a tremendous amount. I'd like to know. Maybe some of you can look it up, and tell us what the heck's going on here with the autos, Okay, and I don't know. I'm just very disappointed with that situation.
Dulce Ortega. Dulce Ortega.
Is that okay if I join? Good evening, Mayor Romero and members of the City Council. I'm here to speak out today about our fentanyl crisis overwhelming our city, where substance abuse has become rampant. Public spaces, including those near school and churches, have become venues for drug use, causing distress and fear among residents. Particularly parents, homeowners, and business owners. Ineffective policing and rapid release of offenders have exacerbated the issue. As a parent, I am deeply concerned for my children's safety. Given to the public pervasive drug use, they will never take personal responsibility or willingness to seek help. Why are public spaces being surrounded with substance abuse without insufficient prevention or protection for the citizens? What is the resolution to address the public use and paraphernalia? We need to incorporate stricter laws to support law enforcement officers as to have alternative mental health centers should be able to keep these individuals until they are mentally stable and self-sufficient. An example maybe would be implement enforcement measures to guarantee local cooperation. Um, the primary concern isn't homelessness, but rather mental health and substance abuse. Existing programs are often underutilized due to lack of participation. Implementing stricter legislation to ensure community reintegration through mandatory mental health treatments and transitional housing could be beneficial. This necessitates implementation across the US, and I am frustrated with the widespread litter, making our cities resemble a trash can plagued with paraphernalia. My son cannot wait at the bus stop without being exposed to this, and my daughter is constantly asked to avert her gaze due to questionable activities at the gas station. Like, I don't want my children seeing this anymore. Like, they can't ride the bus. I can't go to the gas station without having my daughter tell her, "Close your eyes, Mija, don't look at that." I have so much more to say, but I'm out of time, and I thank you so much for your attention on this matter.
Ms. Ortega, I know that you included your number. We just had a very long conversation about this very issue at our study session today. And is there a possibility that we can give your number to Mari Vasquez, our multi-agency regional coordinator on this issue?
Yes, of course.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Romero.
All righty. Eli Marquez?
Hello, my name is Ellie Marquez. I'm here constituent from Ward 5. I'm also a community organizer, and I work with a lot of people who actually voted you in, Regina Romero, and some of you sitting here. And I wanted to speak on the ordinance that has been taken off the agenda, making it criminalizing unhoused people for having encampments in the washes. It's not humane. You aren't offering real solutions for the community. And even though it's off the agenda, we are still going to come here. We're still going to show up and tell you that this is not okay. This is not representative of what we want. We want real solutions. We want housing services for our community, not promises. And then you telling them that, oh, we don't have enough money for that. It's going to law enforcement. It's going to helicopters. It's going to planes. And so we are urging you to please reconsider and think about the solutions your community has been offering. I'm here representing myself, but as I said, I am a community organizer, and the solutions that people have talked about does not include law enforcement, does not include making it illegal for unhoused people to exist. So thank you so much for your time.
Ms. Marquez? Ms. Marquez? Ms. Marquez, you didn't give us your number or email. Do you want to share it so that we can call and you can give us some ideas of what your solutions are? Okay, we'll get someone from the clerk to get your email or your number. Willie Blake.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Good to see you again. Here we are again, my grandson and myself. A long time ago, we were standing at this very place when we were trying to put in a shopping center at Keno and 36, or the marketplace, and we had opposition at that time. Nobody wanted it there. Now here we are again with this. Now we're here not because we're asking for something for ourselves. We're asking something for sick people. In my neighborhood, there are military people who have Agent Orange. Martha down the street has cancer. And I didn't know at the time that they use this as medicine until I was told by the soldier. He lost his wife and his kids because he stayed in the military too long. So I'm asking right now if you could consider voting you vote like we, the majority win. There are 4 neighborhoods here: Western Hills, Pueblo Garden, Las Vistas, and South Park. Now, there are 3 neighborhoods here, and they're all voting yes, and I'm asking you to vote yes on this project. In the beginning, I didn't like it, but I couldn't put my religion and how I feel about drugs and bring pain to somebody else. So I asked you to vote yes. We're helping somebody who need help. So think about it and give us a yes on this. The majority wins. There are 4 neighborhoods. 3 is for, 1 is against.
Good evening. My name is Cassius, the grandson of Willie Blake. I am also very happy to not oppose this situation because not only that it requires jobs, this is actually giving to the community more than taking away. And as a person that works in the healthcare industry, this is not just smoking, it's not just edibles. They have as oil for your joints, arthritis. So I am also for this, and I hope that you guys vote yes for this. Thank you.
Thank you. Bryce Delafos. Bryce Delafossi.
My name is Bryce. I'm a resident of Arizona, representing myself. I'm a military child, and when I was young, I moved not only all over the US, but all over the world as well. Of all the places I could have settled when I left my home at 17, I chose Tucson. And I was always proud of that decision. So much so that despite not having any family in Arizona, I've chosen to stay here in Tucson, going on 10 years. That was until this week. This week, I chose to get involved deeper in my community. As a recovered drug addict who was homeless not that long ago, I wanted to start giving back to the community that has given me so much. I started with passing out water and food to our unhoused neighbors at Santa Rita Park, since many of them take refuge from the hot Arizona sun there. But not long after, I learned from a friend that Santa Rita Park was being decommissioned by the city. She was streaming live on social media talking to Officer Hunt with TPD. I continued watching and heard Officer Hunt say due to the quote infestation of homeless at the park, they would be clearing people out to renovate the area. I couldn't believe the verbiage. These are people and members of our community, not pests. And after a few more rude, disrespectful, and above all, unprofessional comments, I began feeling an emotion I've never felt for our beautiful city before: shame. I figured this was a fluke and would pass. That wasn't until this morning when I got up bright and early to help our unhoused folks collect things and move to their new home. A city-sanctioned encampment or somewhere temporary while they find housing, I thought. Well, pretty quickly I found out I was wrong. Not only had they not prepared a sanctioned encampment for these folks, they hadn't prepared anywhere for these people to go at all. They referenced shelters that were full and had no resources at all, or just plain stated it wasn't their problem. Then I realized this wasn't a solution. It certainly wasn't helping these folks. This was just an effort to displace these people from their camps, destroy and trash their belongings, and leave them to their own devices to be dealt with later. This was a Band-Aid, not a solution. And after watching my neighbor's belongings bulldozed and thrown in a garbage truck, left to go wander the nearby residential area without any pamphlets, business cards, phone numbers, websites, or addresses for resources that could help them.
Mr. Delafaz, the mayor and council have a right to respond to any audience member that criticizes or says things that are not true. And so I have to clarify to you and any others that are here that are repeating misinformation that our teams, housing, community development, housing first, community safety, health and wellness, nonprofit organizations have been offering resources to individuals at Santa Rita Park for the last 3 weeks. Today, we had nonprofit organizations, we had Jackson Sullivan Center, we had Community Bridges, we had nonprofits offering services to every single person that was there. Not one person accepted the services. So we didn't trash things. People were offered to take their belongings, and then right now they're at Price Center for people to pick them up. Please inform yourself and don't repeat misinformation that is shared online.
Am I allowed to respond?
No, you've already had your 3 minutes. No, you have already spoken. You've had your 3 minutes. And if you'd like, Mr. De La Faz, leave us your number. You did not leave us your number. If you'd like to speak with someone that is well informed about the situation, we would be more than happy to give you the correct information. Don't go. Our clerk will get your number and email to inform you. Earl O'Neill.
My name is Earl O'Neill. I reside in the city of Tucson. I represent the South Park Neighborhood Association. I'm ready to start anytime. Okay. My comments relate to agenda item 8 concerning the proposed marijuana dispensary at 880 East Benson Highway. The South Park Neighborhood Association opposes a marijuana dispensary at that location. The South Park neighborhood was the subject of studies by the U of A in 2004 and by ASU in 2006. Those studies contain statements about conditions in the neighborhood in the 1980s and the 1990s, such as 1, it was being overrun by crime, gangs, and drugs. 2, the South Park neighborhood was known to some as the crack cocaine center of Tucson. 3, even the police were afraid to come into their neighborhoods. And 4, residents simply wouldn't leave their homes at night. The Keno Weed and Seed Coalition program was formed around 2001 to deal with the high priority goals of dealing with illegal drug activity, gun violence, poverty, and unemployment. The coalition consisted of 37 federal and local stakeholder organizations. The coalition was active for several years and significantly improved conditions in the neighborhood. Recent studies of the effects of legalizing recreational marijuana use in Canada, Colorado, and New York have shown negative effects. They include significant increases in cannabis poisoning among older adults, marijuana-related traffic deaths and suicides, and serious maternal complications linked with use of marijuana before and early in pregnancy. The Center for Disease Control notes that roughly 3 in 10 marijuana users qualify as being a cannabis use disorder, having a cannabis use disorder, which is defined in part as an inability to stop using marijuana even though it is causing health and social problems. Cannabis use disorder can be debilitating, causing problems with concentration, memory, focus, and motivation, as well as mental health issues. Marijuana can come to take priority over the rest of a user's life, causing job loss, damage to personal relations, and profound distress. Police Captain Flores recently reported that Tucson police have identified several hotspots related to criminal activity. One hotspot is in the area of Ajo Way and Park Avenue, very close to the proposed marijuana dispensary. The Tucson police and neighborhood residents have spent decades in efforts to reduce crime and drug activity in the South Park neighborhood. Placing a marijuana dispensary near a hotspot for criminal activity would be a setback to that effort. The South Park Neighborhood Association opposes the proposal to build a marijuana dispensary at 880 East Benson Highway. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. O'Neill. Abel doesn't have a last name. Abel.
Hello. My name is
more known by Pato Aguilar, and I'm coming here to shine a light on the gatekeeping in the public artworks. So I would like to start with gatekeeping, the activity of trying to control who gets a particular resource, power opportunities, and who does not. Mayor Romero, in your website, you announced equitable access and investment for all, right? The mission statement from the Arts Foundation to advance artistic expression, civic participation, and equitable economic growth of our diversity community. But my experience has been very different in almost a decade in this place. In 2019, I began to research the muralist movement in Tucson and realized that many murals were appearing all over town. As the time passed, I realized that article after article, the same artists were selected for nearly all of the major works in the city. I have tried to meet with Adriana Gallego, Executive Director from the Arts Foundation of Tucson, to learn more about the process and the way the selection of the artist works, but I was not successful. During my research, I also noticed many of the articles had extended deadlines. This makes me wonder if those extension deadlines are due to the lack of artists applying, since many artists have realized they didn't have any chance. How can we create the equity mentioned in your website and in the Arts Foundation website after like almost a decade of the same people being chosen? The number one challenge of an artist is not how to create, be creative or talented. The number one challenge is to have access to funding and resources, especially when there are gatekeepers. I also provided some of the solutions. I actually wrote this letter to you in January 7th, and I've never got a response. Creating a bracket based on not on popularity, but on income. Limiting the amount of work given to an individual artist, either by number of projects or based on a monetary value. Also, other notes that I would like to mention is that there's more than 100 muralists in Tucson, but in almost a decade, less than 6% have gathered all this wealth, and it's public, so there's proof of that. It's not just me speaking.
Thank you, Abel. We're going to connect you. Thank you for leaving us your number. We're going to try and connect you with someone from the city that is in charge of our contract with the Southern Arizona Arts Foundation. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Victoria de Basto. Victoria de Basto.
Hi, I'm exhausted. I didn't write anything. I wasn't even necessarily going to come up until I saw your response to that statement. I think that you're very quick to state that there's false information, Mayor Romero, and I think that you're very quick to state that we have no idea what we're talking about, essentially. We are the ones out there. We have eyewitness accounts to tell you exactly what has gone on the streets in the city of Tucson. And I know that Mari has the reports, and I know that she's running the show. I will give her a call back. But to be invalidated to that extent when we were out there is not okay. Because you were not out there. And that is important. So please be aware of that. These are real eyewitness accounts. Also, you just said quietly, not one person took a resource. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? Does anyone care maybe that, like, what is the reason that these people aren't taking these grand resources? Like, no, have we had conversations about this yet? Like that, I'm sorry, that made me a little upset to see you just snap back that way, because we are out here doing good work. We are out there. So, excuse me, but please try to have a little bit more respect for people that are actually out there also doing the work. Thank you.
Jonathan Salvatierra. Jonathan Salvatierra. And this is going to be our last speaker. Jonathan.
Madam Mayor, Council, my name is Jonathan Salvatierra. I'm a native Tucsonan. I'm not a retained speaker. Special thanks to Vice Mayor Kevin Dahl for requesting ADEQ directors to create public Q&A and public comment meetings for Tucson, 1 million inhabitants. Also, he was actively engaged with Parks and Rec over the Prop 407 safety and public input and LD 20 attendance. Today's dusty sunrise is the beginning of many more dirty, dusty, and toxic airborne skies from proposed Copper World and South 32 Hermosa LLC mining projects in the Santa Rita mountain range. ADEQ has treated the permitting like valued customers instead of protecting their mission statement to protect public health, welfare, air, water, and land quality. Pima County's 1 million citizens are refused, again, lawful proposed meeting scheduling by ADEQ. And what this amounts to is bureaucratic, economic, and epidemiological genocide. If this is allowed to follow through with the permitting guidelines that they're manifesting, we won't be able to enjoy the storm to shade, all 407 benefits, Tucson home sharing, water matters, Palo Verde, 1 million trees, all of this, because we'll be suffering from increased morbidity and mortality from cancer, the COPD, all these airborne toxins that are going to come through from our more often inversion layer that's saturating the city. And we need to be very much more careful and to get the representation that we need for the citizens of Pima County and Tucson. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Salvatierra.